Hi, welcome. This session is about one of the course from the second semester of first year of engineering, and that the course is engineering graphics. So let's move on with fundamentals of engineering drawing. So at first the question arises, which language do you speak at your home, with your friends, with your relatives? So the answer comes over there. I speak in English at my home. I use Hindi just to speak with my friends. I use Marathi as my mother tongue in my house. So the variety of questions, answers come over there for that some sort of question, which is which language do you speak at your home or with your friends? So the very next question after this question arises, and that's it. That is, why do you use it? With a very loud sound, the answer comes over there. I use to communicate. I use to share my ideas, my feelings. So that is what the but obvious answer for that respective question. Why do you use it? That particular language to speak with someone. In the same way, in the case of engineer, if he has to communicate with his colleague in terms of some ideas that are actually in his mind, he has to share that ideas that is related to the say manufacturing or the design of any new product. So that thoughts or the ideas in the mind of an engineer, if he has to put down or if he has to share in front of any other person who is technically sound, that say engineer, so to communicate that respective idea, that thought in terms of design, he has to use some language over there, and that our routine language, say English, Hindi, Tamil, they are of not that much use to communicate that respective thought regarding the development of or design of that new product. So he has to use some other language over there, and that other language is what simply the graphical language, and which is to be further called as the engineering graphics. So simply we say that engineering graphics is an art of representation of engineering objects. So if you have to build any building or roads, or if you have to design for a machine, then at first you have to put down that respective drawing of the machine, drawing of the say building or that respective any product. So you have to put down it on a paper. So that graphical representation is say a language of an engineer. So this is what very clear to everyone right now. uh, Whatever may be the language that we are used in our daily life, that English, Hindi, Sanskrit or Tamil, Gujarati, so they are only for our routine purpose. But rather than that, if an engineer has to share his idea in terms of the development or design of any new product, or if he has to do some technical work, then he has to use some graphical language, and that graphical language is to be simply further known as engineering graphics or engineering drawing. So this is what about the very first point. Now move to the basic instruments that we use to construct the drawing of any object. So here we are having the basic drawing instruments. They are listed down over here. One is say set square. So set square available, or we have to use, they are of that 45-degree set square or that 30, 60, 90-degree set square. So it is one of the instrument that we have to use. Again, apart from that, the protector, which is again maybe made up of wood or say plastic. So that protector, ranging from a 0 degree to 180 degree for that semicircle, we use that protector just to mark the angle at particular degree. Then scale, we can use the that steel rule or say plastic scale, again for 15 centimeter or 30 centimeter. Then compass, we have to prepare or we have to purchase the rounder, that engineering rounder specially. Then circle template is there, which is also called as pro circle. So if in our drawing we have to draw a multiple number of circle with the same diameter, with the same dimension, so instead of using the rounder, we go for that circle template. So for the sake of that respective activity, we are having the instrument with us, that is pro circle. Then lead pencil, so to draw that respective drawing on a paper, we need lead pencil, and lead pencil has a lead which is to be preferable one, is what actually with the grade H, 2H, or in some cases we can use that 4H also. So this is about that lead or the grades of lead that we have to use in our lead pencil. Eraser, it is actually we have to use the eraser very rarely, uh, so we have to become that much professional that we can use eraser at very lesser side. And again, the sketchbook, usually for a practice purpose we use A3 size sketchbook. So this is what about the basic drawing instruments that every student who start with engineering graphics, he must purchase. This basic instrument or the set of this basic instrument must be available with an that first year of engineering student. Again, in addition to this, here we are having the other four instruments. One is to the left side. At first you are having that roll and draw, which is also popularly called as roller scale. It is available with the that dimension 16 centimeter or 30 centimeter scale ruler, or it can be rolled down and up as per the requirement. It is usually used to draw the parallel lines. They are maybe in a horizontal manner or in a vertical manner. If we have to draw the parallel lines, just by rolling that roller up and down, we can easily construct the parallel lines. So just for the sake of that, we are having one instrument to be called as roll and draw, and popularly to be called as roller scale. Just below it, there you found French curve. French curve is actually it has some irregular shape, and that is used for drawing the curves which cannot be drawn by means of your compass or by means of your rounder. So that kind of irregularity of the curves that you found uh, in your ellipse, parabola, spiral, where the smooth curves you have to draw. Just for the sake of that, we are having the French curves with us. They are made of the material wood or plastic. So this is again one of the technical instrument that you have to purchase as far as your engineering graphics is concerned. Move to the right side, there you are having mini drafter. Mini drafter is what actually the a combined machine which does the function of t square, again set square, scale, protractor, and that roll and draw, all that are get combined in your drafting machine, and that is to be called as mini drafter. So this is what popular instrument used by draftsman for drawing any particular object or that the views. And at last, to carry your sheet in a proper manner, in a proper way, you must have the sheet container with you. So this is about the drawing instrument and their accessories that we have to use or we have with us with this set of respective instruments to just start with engineering drawing or say engineering graphics. Move to the next. Now here we are having the drawing sheet and the say drawing papers. So drawing sheets and drawing papers, they are available in many number of varieties. ranging from the size A0 to A5. A0 is what the largest imperial size, that drawing sheet, uh, and A5 is what the smallest one. All its dimension according to the Bureau of Indian Standard that is given in the table over here. If you are having A0 size sheet with you, then it is available with the dimension that is 841 mm by 1189 mm. If you cut that sheet exactly at the mid, then out of that A0 sheet you are getting two sheets and they are of A1 size, and which carries the dimension that is 594 by 841. If you go on continuing, at last you are getting the sheet with the dimension 148 by 210, and it is the dimension of A5 sheet. So this is what the sheet you are having with you, ranging from A0 to A5, and all its dimensions, they are recommended by Bureau of Indian Standard. So you just remember this thing, that the sheets we have to use over here with this different sizes. Move to the next part of our fundamentals of engineering drawing, and this is what one of the important point that you have to remember throughout your engineering graphics syllabus, and that is what types of line and their applications. So here you found there are number of different types of lines and their applications. So move one by one. At first you are having continuous thick line. So here you have its illustration. It is to be look like this, and in thickness it is nearly about 0.5 mm. So 0.5 mm is what the thickness of the continuous thick line, and it is used to show the visible outlines of an object. So that is what very first type of line. Move to the second one, which is continuous thin line. In continuous thin line, you found that the thickness is reduced over here and it measures to be approximately 0.2 mm, and that continuous thin line, it is used to show the dimension lines, to show the leader lines, to show the extension line. Just for that respective purpose we are using the continuous thin line. So what exactly that dimension line, leader line, that part we are going to discuss in a coming slide, but just do focus that the continuous thin line is available, or is we have to draw with the thickness of 0.2 mm. Move to the next one, which is continuous thin, available in that wavy form, just to show the irregular boundaries lines, that short break lines. For that application we are using some kind of wavy lines over there. Again they are thin lines, means it is of 0.2 mm thickness. Then another important type of line is what? Dash line, or to be called as short dash medium thick line. So here you found it is not a thin line or it is not completely thick line, it is in a medium thickness. So that is of 0.3 actually. So dash medium line is to be drawn with the thickness of 0.3 mm, and it is used to show the hidden outlines and the edges in your object, in your drawing. So for that purpose we are using that dash medium line, short dash medium line. Move to the next, that is long chain thin line. So here you found the line is not exactly the dash one, it is in the format of that long short line. So you found there is one long line, after that there is a short line, again you are having the line, again the short line. So in the fashion of that long short, you have to construct this line, and that is to be called as chain thin line. As it is thin line, it is with the thickness of 0.2 mm, and especially these lines are used to show the center lines of an object, just to show the locus lines if you have to show the pitch circle of any cutting that respective circle in case of spinning a gear, so to that show that pitch circle diameter, we are using this continuous chain thin line. So do remember that. Now after that, there you are having long chain line which is thick at its end, and elsewhere it is thin one. So the construction you found over here, it is in the form of long shot, no doubt about it, and that long shot line is what thin one, but at the end you found it is thicker one. Thicker one means what? You have to show the ends of that long short line, they are the with the thickness of 0.5 mm, and in the middle part, just apart from that two ends, that you have to show by means of thin line which is with the thickness of 0.2 mm. So this kind of line, which is more popularly to be called as that a cutting plane line, it is used to show that cutting part. If you are cutting your object centrally, then to show that cutting plane, or by means of a cutting plane you are cutting it, so that cutting plane line representation is to be done like this, where we are having the continuous long chain line but it is thicker at its end. Move to the next. There you are having long chain thick line, very similar to long chain thin line. Only thing is that the thickness is enlarged, increased over here, that is of 0.5 mm, just to indicate the surface which are to receive additional treatment. In that case we are using such kind of long chain thick line. And the very last one is ruled line and short zigzag thin line. Here you found the line has some straight line or ruled line and having some zigzag pattern in it, and it is a thin, so it is with the thickness of 0.2 mm. And to show the long break lines, you are specially using this zigzag line, or say ruled line and that short zigzag line. So this is about all the different types of lines and their applications. Now in the very next slide we are going to focus on its representation. So here you are having three views of an particular object where all these lines are get represented. So we are going to focus on that representation right now. So here you found, at first, this is what the border, or say the outline of an object. It is actually the front view, this is top view, and this is side view of a particular object. So this all outlines of an object in its front, top view and the side view, they are shown with the continuous visible line or continuous thick line with the thickness of usually 0.5 mm. So this is what you are actually the outline of an object, which is shown with that continuous thick line with the thickness of 0.5 mm. Then next to it, continuous thin line which is of thickness 0.2 mm. So to draw this respective xy axis, x1 y1 axis, again to show the respective projections, uh, to construct the top view from the front view, or the side view from the front and top view, whatever may be the projection lines we are drawn over here, this lines to actually to be called as projection lines. And these projection lines are drawn with continuous thin line. Again, this extension lines to show this respective dimension, whatever may be the extension we are taking over here, that extension lines, they are again the example of continuous thin line. Again you found over here, this is what the section line, also called as hatching line, they are again represented by means of continuous thin line. So they are again with the thickness of 0.2 mm. So this is all about the second type of line, that is continuous thin line. Next to it, a dash medium thick line. So here, to represent this hidden part, which is actually the circle or that circular hole in an object, this to be represented over here by means of this dash medium thick line. So it is medium thick line. It means it is with the thickness of 0.3 mm. So that line is shown over here in that respective fashion, which has a medium thickness of 0.3 mm. So this is what you are actually the hidden line. Then next to it, chain thin line. Chain thin line means what? Just to show the center line of an object. So here you found this is what the center of your central vertical axis of your circular hole over here. So this center line is to be shown by means of long short line. It is what that long short line. Here in again side view you found that this is what that long short line, and it is actually that chain thin line with the thickness of 0.2 mm, and it is what the center line. Then next to it, as we cut the object over here, you are having that cutting plane line representation. So this is what cutting plane line. It is in the fashion of that long short in the same way as chain thin line, but its end, this left hand end and this right hand end, both the ends, they are the thicker one with the thickness of 0.5 mm. So this is what actually your cutting plane line, where we are having the thicker end, and the line actually is in the form of continuous chain line. Then next to it, again you found the respective dimension lines and all that, they are again with the continuous thin line. So this is all about the representation of major types of line that we have to use in our engineering graphics. Move to the next one. Yes, a drawing without a dimension is meaningless. If you simply draw an object and it doesn't carry any kind of dimension showing in the respective drawing paper, so that drawing of an object is completely a meaningless activity. So the very important task is what, as soon as you complete the drawing or as soon as you draw the a particular view, you must show its dimension. So dimensioning, that part we have to, in that dimensioning we have to focus on two parameters. One is what elements of dimensioning and other is what rules of dimensioning. So initially we go for elements of dimensioning. So in the next slide there you are having the different elements of dimensioning. So here usually we are having 5 elements of dimensioning. One is extension line, other is dimension line, third one is leader line, fourth one is arrowhead, and at last dimension itself. So what exactly these elements of dimensioning says that we are going to discuss with this slide. Extension line. So as we have to show the dimension of any particular component, say here we are having the top view of that respective object, and in which we have to show its height. So we have to show this dimension as 20 mm. Now to show this dimension or the height is as 20 mm, what we have to do, from this two end, that the bottom end and the top end, we just draw two lines which are continuous thin line, and they are actually the extension line. So to show the dimension of an object, whatever may be the lines from the ends of an object, we are going to draw that extension lines are actually the part of your dimensioning. So the very first part or the element of dimensioning is what? Extension line. To show the dimension you must have to initially show the extension of over there. So this is what actually the extension line, this is what that extension. Okay, the second element is what? Dimension line. Now to show this particular height, as we earlier drawn the extension line, next task is to draw the dimension line. So this is what that dimension line, again a continuous thin line. So this is what that dimension line, again to show the height or the say width, we are showing this dimension line. Again to show the diameter of this circle, this is what that dimension line. So this is what the next element. After drawing the extension line, the next task is to draw the dimension line. Then third one is what? Leader line. It is what an interesting one. Leader line is what? If you are showing the dimension of a circle, you are just simply drawn the dimension line, and further on, to show that a dimension, you are extend it further on, and that extension is in the form of inclined line, whereas this line is not exactly horizontal or vertical, it is in the form of some inclination. So that inclined line is to be called as leader line. So do remember, leader line we are using only in the case of where we are showing the dimension or the diameter of a circle. So to show the diameter of circle, we are showing the dimension line which is available just inside your cylinder, and the further extension is to be called as leader line, where we are going to further show its detail, how much the diameter of that circle. So this is what that inclined line to be called as leader line. So this is what the third element of dimensioning. Another important element is what arrowhead. So to show the dimension of an object, we are drawn initially extension lines, then we are drawn the dimension line, then the next part comes over there, we have to show the arrowheads. While showing the arrowheads, remember that your arrowhead should not look like this, which is available to this side, or I am just showing over here. Arrow should not like this. It is again not should like this. All these positions, all these different types of arrowheads, they are incorrect. The correct way to show the dimension is what shown over here. If you are drawing that arrowhead where you are having this width say as W, then if you are having this width as W, then the length of your arrowhead is thrice of that width, and that arrowhead is completely filled one, it is solid one. So this is what the approximate drawing of an arrowhead, where if you are taking the width of arrowhead is W, then the length of the arrowhead should be thrice of that width, and the respective triangle should be completely filled one, it is a solid one. So this is what the correct way to show the arrowhead. And as you show the arrowhead to the respective dimension line, the last part remain over there, that is to show the dimension, that the dimension number. So this is what actually 20 mm, this is what 45 degree mm, this is 50 mm. So this is what that actually dimension number. So this is what about the elements of dimensioning, where we discuss about the 5 elements, which are extension line, dimension line, leader line, arrowheads, and the dimension in detail. Move to the next part of dimensioning, which is very important, that is rules of dimensioning. So without following the rules of dimensioning, your dimensioning is again a meaningless activity. So the very first rule is what? As far as possible, all dimensions should be placed outside the views. So here you found at to the left side, you are drawing the respective view and showing the dimensions inside the figure. So it is not accepted, it is not preferred one. Every time as you complete your drawing, then show the dimensions apart from your drawing, say outside the views. So if you are having the particular view of an object over here, then all the dimensions should be placed outside the views, and that is what the first rule of dimensioning. Do remember. Move to the next one. The unit should not be written after each dimension. So here you have it's 30 mm, it's 15 mm, it's 40 mm. So every time you are mentioning it's in mm, it's in mm, it's in mm. So that is not again acceptable one. You simply make a note just at the place where you are in your drawing sheet, where they in the bottom side you may make a note over there, all dimensions are in mm. So if you make a simple note over there that all dimensions are in mm, then no need to repeat mm at every dimension. So this is what another interesting rule of dimensioning, that we have to mention a note for a dimensioning in mm, and further on in our drawing we simply have to show the number over there. So do remember this second rule of dimensioning. Move to the next one. Dimension lines should not cross each other. So here you found this is what 20 mm and this is what 20 mm. All these two are the dimension lines and they cross each other. This is not allowed. This is not acceptable. Secondly, dimension lines should also not cross any other line of an object. So here you found this is what your dimension line and it is crossing your outlines, that the visible outlines of an object, isn't it? So this is again not going to acceptable. So this crossing of dimension line and the crossing of this respective dimension line with the other lines of your object is not acceptable. However, your extension line may cross each other. Here you found this is what 6 mm, this is what 20 mm, and to show that dimension you are having this extension lines and they are crossing over each other. So as your extension of as you are having the crossing of your extension line, then that is purely acceptable. So this thing you have to remember again, as far as that rules of dimensioning are concerned, that your dimension line are not crossed each other, or the dimension line should not cross any other outline of an object. However, your extension lines may cross each other or outlines of the object. So this is what that next rule of your dimensioning. Move to the next one. Each dimension should be given only once. So here you found it's 10 mm, it's 15 mm, it's 20 mm. If you make a sum of this, it becomes 45 mm. So no need to show over here the overall length is 45 mm. It means what? Your dimensioning number or the dimensioning is get repeated over there. So you should only show the dimension only once, like this. 10, 15, 20, that's it. No need to mention it's 45 mm. So that is what that rule. No dimension should be repeated directly or indirectly in the same or other view. So again here you found this is what one view, say front view, and this is what say side view. So this is 30 mm, this is 20 mm, 30, 20, 50, radius 10, 60, and again this radius 15, 75 mm. So 75 mm dimension is reflected in the front view, and again in side view you are showing it 75 mm. So it is again a meaningless activity of showing this 75 mm, isn't it? So you only have to show the dimension only once, and again you have to take care that no dimension should be repeated directly or indirectly in the same or other view. So this is what again one of the interesting key rule of dimensioning. Now another interesting part as far as your fundamentals of engineering drawing is concerned, that is what scales. In engineering graphics, while drawing smaller objects on a paper, if you are drawing the gears of your wristwatch, which is of very smaller dimension, it is not possible to carry that dimension and put it on a paper. So with actual dimension of the gears of your wristwatch, we cannot draw it on a paper by our hands, that by means of human being, it is not possible. So in that case we are going to enlarge the scale. In the other hand, if you are having larger object with you, say you have to draw the views of your ship, you have to construct a building and you have to put down its dimension on a paper. So if you are using the actual scale to draw the respective shape or to draw the respective building on a paper, then it is not possible on your respective that imperial sheets. So in that case, for such kind of large objects, you need to reduce your scale as you have to put it on a paper. And in some cases, some objects they can be drawn with their exact actual sizes on a paper. So here we found there are three categories of scale. One is what? If we have to draw the smaller object, we go for enlarging of scale, which is to be called as enlargement scale. If we have to draw the larger object, huge object on a paper, then we are going to reduce its dimension, and that is to be called as reduction scale. And in the cases where we are going to draw with exact dimensions of an object, then that is to be treated as your full scale. So here we found three different types of scale, whereas scale is simply the proportion by which the drawing of an object is enlarged or reduced, and that is to be called as scale of the drawing. So that three categories we have to further discuss in detail. So at first go for the enlargement scale. So here you have the objects which are very smaller one, that the screw, then the elements of your watch. Here you found the needles are there, the gears are there, they are with a very smaller dimension. Then here to this side you are having that electronic parts, resistor is there, transistor is there, ICs are there. So this smaller part with their actual dimension are not possible to construct on a paper. So in that case we are going to enlarge the scale. For example, we are taking the scale as 10:1. So what it means, if we are drawing a line of 10 mm, then treat it as a 1 mm. So that is what actually the enlargement scale, isn't it? So if we are drawing a line of 10 mm, treat it as a 1 mm, that actually the enlargement of scale. And at the scale location you have to mention in your drawing sheet scale is reduced, or simply say scale as 10:1. So it indicates here we are having the enlargement of scale. Move to the next, reducing or a reduction scale. So as we have to construct that bridge, as we have to construct the drawing of that ship and that aeroplane and that respective machine, so it is not possible to construct with their actual dimension. So we have to reduce the dimension for such huge object. So we are going to reduce it, say with the scale 1:50. It means what? If we are drawing 1 mm line, then treat it as a 50 mm. So that is actually the reverse of your enlargement. In the previous one we are seeing that 10:1. It is actually the enlargement scale, and in reduction scale we are showing it as a 1:10 or say 1:50. So this is what the reduction scale. And the third one is what? The full scale. The objects which are easily to be drawn with their actual shape, the dimension of that gear, the dimension of that, say, any product, that the spanner and all that, that can be drawn with their actual shape. So that is what your full scale, in which you are showing the scale as 1:1. It means what? Treat 1 mm to be drawn as 1 mm. So that is what full scale. So this is all about the fundamentals of engineering drawing, where we covered the actually the fundamentals of engineering drawing. Thank you.